Hey guys, welcome back to another one. This is Crypto Elite, and today's video we are going to be talking about Visa. They have done something recently that piqued my interest, and I think you will be interested in this as well, and this will move the entire blockchain space forward if they do continue with what they are doing. And it all has to do with this article that came out on December 19th, but currently Visa is exploring new avenues of blockchain innovation. And like I said, we'll dig into this article, but big picture, it has to do with things that we do on a day-to-day basis. And that's like reoccurring auto payments. So a lot of us pay our bills, whether that's mortgage, internet, utilities, it's on an auto payment basis. And Visa is exploring ways in order to do that in the blockchain space. And more particularly, we'll talk about that. I think what they are laser focusing on right now is the CBDC department, but it also applies to other blockchains as well. So if you want to pay things in Bitcoin or Ethereum, although I don't think so, or I never really understand why people wanted to pay in Bitcoin because it is a scarce asset. So there's no point in giving that away, but that's neither here nor there. Visa currently is exploring avenues in order to make that happen via a smart contract. And I'm very happy to see it. So they even said it themselves. We're currently in the early stages of blockchain development, and it still remains unclear which use cases will still be adopted and then which ones will be left behind, and even which ones we haven't even explored yet. There's still a lot out there. And a lot of these articles, they are 100% right on. So even NFTs, is it a fad or is it the future? We don't know. This technology is still relatively new. It's just a couple years old. And there's a lot of use cases for using NFTs, but there's also a lot of people who don't understand them and say, it's just a JPEG image. If you've seen my videos, you know my take on it. I think NFTs are definitely here to stay. There's a lot more utility that goes on with them, and that is assuming that there is utility. You can also see it with DeFi. Is decentralized finance, is that here to stay, or is this something that's going to get heavily regulated by the SEC and just turn into something that is centralized? So there's a lot to happen in the future, and we will still see, and that's what Visa is saying. But I do appreciate that they say they have a team of researchers in Visa who are working across various blockchains, so not just Ethereum, but they're looking for security, scalability, interoperability, and privacy, and all the possible use cases that they could use in the future. So that is what they are continuing to do. They've come out with a couple articles so far. I've read them, and I do appreciate that they're trying to push the space forward. And one person in particularly is Catherine Gu. Hopefully I said that correctly. She is the head of CBDC and protocols at Visa, and they talk about how they're continuing to push the space forward. So in this article in particular, like I said, is bringing auto payments to blockchain. And as we all know, auto payments are a thing that most of us do. I know I have all my utilities on auto pay, and I just don't have to think about it. Unless I get a letter in the mail saying that I didn't pay for some reason, then I'll have to investigate. But this is something that's happened in the past. So the second largest US mortgage lender started accepting payments in Bitcoin. And I don't know if at this time auto payments in Bitcoin were a thing, or if the individuals who did start to pay for their mortgage had to do it every single month without auto pay. So that could be an issue. And then spoiler, if you weren't up to date on this one, they started it, and then 3-4 months later, unfortunately, they did ditch the plan to accept payments. And I'm not exactly sure why, but maybe auto payment could have made it a lot easier. So it could have been a solution to that. And on the technical side, Visa is starting to outline how it's writing some smart contracts to make it really slick and really easy to do. And these are all from self-custodial wallets, so wallets that you own yourself, not wallets that are on exchanges. So basically, as you can see in this highlighted area over here, it's going to allow a user to set up a programmable wallet or programmable payment instruction that can push funds automatically from one self-custodial wallet to another at recurring intervals. And that is just auto payment in a nutshell. But the fact that they're doing it from your wallet that you have custody on the blockchain. Now, there are pros and cons with this, of course. I can already imagine if that smart contract has a backend, or someone hacks into that smart contract, or there's a lot of things that could happen in the background to make that smart contract go rogue and potentially auto pay something else or someone else and drain your wallet. So there's some pros and cons with it, but Visa has a big brand name, and I'm sure they would not let that happen, or at least they wouldn't release a smart contract to let that happen. So right now they're looking for it. It's called account abstraction, and it's going to be explored within the Ethereum ecosystem. Like I said earlier, they are going to continue looking to other blockchains as well, but right now in particular, they're looking at Ethereum for this one. So in the paper, there is a paper out there. Visa demonstrates the potential application, and it's just to delegate the ability to initiate a payment by a user account to a pre-approved auto payment smart contract. And like I said, that's good, bad. They talked about some of the pros, talked about some of the cons. And I think the use case right now, like they kind of mentioned, is the CBDCs. So if governments start implementing CBDCs, and a lot of them are starting, even their beta test runs of CBDCs, having that on some sort of blockchain that is tied to Visa's financial rails that are already directed to a bunch of different banks. If they could onload this new CBDC technology that's on a blockchain, hopefully verifiable, it would just be very, very easy for us to onload that payment program into the blockchain and into the current financial system. So Visa's proposal could help bring familiar payment experiences like auto payments to the blockchain ecosystem, is what they're saying in a nutshell. So big picture, I do like this. Like I said, I like that Visa is taking the initiative. They're integrating cryptocurrency. They're not trying to be a laggard behind and just stay in the current financial rails that they know. They are working ahead with Web3, and I think that will be beneficial for the future. But currently, we are working with a very crazy crypto market right now. Me personally, I'm taking the time to purchase crypto every single day. If you are interested in what I'm buying, I do have a Patreon out there, link in the description below. If not, a like and subscribe on the YouTube channel would mean a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.